trust, respect. These are two things that are the cornerstones of GoFundMe accounts. We trust that the money is being sent to the proper individuals. We trust that the money is going to be used for exactly what the actual individual who's raising the money says it's for. We put our trust in these individuals, and we put our trust in GoFundMe, the company itself, to somehow find a way to weed out the fraudulent GoFundMe accounts that are out there. But unfortunately, in today's era, a lot of Americans are forced to actually have to open GoFundMe accounts to pay for even the most basic medical costs. They can't survive. They can't pay for their medications or medical procedures that they need to be able to survive, to have some quality of life left from here on out. These GoFundMe accounts are the bridge between, living and death in a lot of cases. And please, by whatever you do not take what I have to say and when I'm reporting here to mean you shouldn't trust GoFundMe accounts. Just do your own due diligence on it before you donate to an actual GoFundMe. Today we're going to look at a lady who raised over $11,000 for the victims of a series of horrific crimes and kept 100% of the money for herself. She had zero intention of ever giving even a dime to the remaining victims' family members and extended family members. She used public shared photographs of the family in the actual GoFundMe, information that she had received and copy and pasted from news articles that were done online. Everything looked from the surface to be up and up. That everything about it was exactly what people wanted to see. They wanted to help. They gave their hard-earned money. Even those, some of them, who couldn't afford to give, gave anyways. Because these victims needed to be remembered. Their families needed help. And their families still need help to this very day to get through the horrific crime that took place. Today, we are going to look at one such case and talk about another series of ones that have taken place going back almost 4 complete years now. But now we're looking back at the first case of over a year ago. Lynn Brown has just been convicted and now been sentenced to 3 years in prison for setting up a bogus GoFundMe account to raise money for the victims' families of a horrific crime in Polk County, Florida. Brown, 33, said she was raising monies for the family of Kevin Springfield, Brandon Rollins, and Damion Tillman, 3 friends who were beaten to death and shot while on a fishing trip last year. According to documents obtained by Associated Press, Brown did not give the money to the victim's family. Instead, police say she used the money to go on shopping sprees, send herself cash via PayPal, and pay her utility bills. Police first learned about the fraudulent account when they were contacted by the victim's family members. Our detectives got contacted by some family and friends of the deceased and said, "Hey, wait a minute. We didn't open this GoFundMe account. We didn't know anything about it, and we certainly didn't get any of the money from it," said Polk County Sheriff's Chief Steve Lester. Brown was found guilty last month and sentenced to prison. She made no statement at her sentencing. "I hope she thinks about what she has done," Rollins said. Dottie Payton tells the Lakeland Ledger and Associated Press, "and I think about what she has done to her family and to the families that she has never met." Polk County Jail confirms that she is currently being housed on unrelated drug charges. An attorney for Brown did not respond to requests for comment. In total, she raised $11,915 through the GoFundMe account for these victims' families. And again, had no intention of ever sending them a dime. Now, related cases. According to GoFundMe and a release to the Associated Press, there have been no less than 110 GoFundMe accounts and campaigns set up to raise money for Christopher Watts, the killer Christopher Watts, the man who killed his wife and his 3 children, Bella, Celeste, and unborn son, Nico. The reason that each of these accounts were set up was to raise money to make his life even better in jail and also in prison in Dodge Correction Center, along with raising funds to actually be able to pay for a defense so he could hire detectives, so he could raise money to get a new trial. According to GoFundMe, they have shut down every one of them except for 3. 3 of them were able to actually remove funds before they were ever made aware of them and closed them down. A total of $4,310 was removed from those accounts before GoFundMe could close them down. Of that $4,310, according to the statement released from Dodge Correction Center as of March of 2020, over a year ago, Christopher Watts has seen absolutely no money deposited from anybody at all other than his family. And these GoFundMe accounts were not set up by his family. The accounts that withdrew the $4,310 were from the following locations in the United States: Boston, Massachusetts; Dade County, Florida; and Eugene, Oregon. Christopher Watts doesn't have any family in any of those locations. He doesn't have any extended family members in any of those locations who had opened GoFundMe accounts for him. All of these accounts have been turned over to the state's Attorney General's office for investigation into fraud, just like what happened here in this case today. I keep on telling people about these bogus accounts that keep on popping up. Some people listen, some people don't. The truth is hard to understand why anybody would go to these lengths to do these things, but they do them. And unfortunately, it paints a black eye on GoFundMe, a much needed resource, especially for those who are going through traumatic times in their lives, either needing assistance with medical bills, or they are the remaining victims, extended family members of victims who need help and assistance burying their loved ones. I have opened one GoFundMe account in my lifetime. That account was set up while my wife was going through cancer treatment. It was impossible for us to pay for the medication that she had been prescribed and that she needed desperately. Even with insurance, there was no way to pay for it. But lucky for me, I was able to help through the help of others through GoFundMe, able to make a difference. And each and every person who donated, I gave something back to. I didn't have to. I chose to, because I appreciated them helping me through that tough time in our lives. But raising money for a convicted killer? No. Raising money to scam the good-hearted nature of so many people around the world and in America? It's tragic, but it happens. And every single one of these cases that comes forth and hits the news makes people a little bit more jaded about wanting to give and to wanting to help. But don't let it. Don't let the crimes and the negative nature of some people who want to feast upon us and use us make us stop caring. That is the underlying issue here, and the one thing that we need to remember. Don't stop caring. Thank you for joining me today. You have a wonderful week and weekend ahead of you.